Namaskar, myself Dr. Deepti Bisht, Professor, Department of Kaya Chikitsa, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. In today's session for class BMS 4th year, I am going to take lecture regarding management of various viral fevers. In this lecture, I am going to cover 2 or 3 viral infections and their management. So let's start with the first one, that is yellow fever. Yellow fever is basically an acute viral hemorrhagic disease transmitted by infected mosquitoes. The yellow in the name refers to the jaundice that affects some patients. Symptoms basically include fever, headache, jaundice, muscle pain, nausea, vomiting, and fatigue. So this causative agent of this yellow fever, that is arbovirus, is transmitted by mosquitoes, Aedes and Haemophobus species. Primary reservoir are monkeys. When monkeys are bitten by mosquitoes, transmission to other monkeys and humans takes place. Some of the clinical features: acute phase cause fever, chills, body or joint ache. In chronic phase, abdominal pain, vomiting, decreased urination, delirium, bleeding from nose, eyes, mouth. These symptoms occur. A small proportion of patients who contract the virus develop severe symptoms, and approximately half of those die within 7 to 10 days. And this virus is endemic in tropical areas of Africa and Central and South America. So in India, it is rarely seen. Large epidemics of yellow fever occur when infected people introduce the virus into heavily populated areas with high mosquito density and where most people have little or no immunity due to lack of vaccination. In these conditions, infected mosquitoes transmit the virus from person to person. Now, yellow fever is prevented by an extremely effective vaccine, which is safe and affordable. Single dose of yellow fever vaccine is sufficient to confer sustained immunity and lifelong protection against yellow fever disease, and a booster dose of the vaccine is not needed. This vaccine provides effective immunity within 30 days for 99% of persons vaccinated. So this is some introductory remarks about yellow fever. Clinical features I have discussed. These are the clinical features. Before management, the diagnosis can be made by seeing the clinical features in endemic area. Viral isolation from the blood is done in first 24 hours. In blood investigation, immunoglobulin M are 4-fold rise. Post-mortem liver biopsy is also suggestive of yellow fever, and there is leukopenia. Management. Treatment is supportive with meticulous attention to fluid and electrolyte balance. Urine output and blood pressure should be monitored. According to need, blood transfusions, plasma expanders, and peritoneal dialysis may be necessary sometimes. Patient should be isolated as the blood and body products may contain viral particles. Vaccine, as I have told, is available, which is a live attenuated vaccine, and it gives protection for at least 10 years. Vaccination is not recommended in people who are significantly immunosuppressed. So this is the management of yellow fever. Next disease I am going to take is smallpox or variola. As you have known, smallpox was an infectious disease caused by two viral variants, variola major and variola minor. 90% cases of smallpox are caused by variola major, and this disease was known in English as pox or red plague. It is a contagious disease which has high mortality, and it was eradicated by global vaccination program in worldwide scenario. Now transmission. Transmission occurs through inhalation of airborne variola virus, usually droplets expressed from the oral, nasal, or pharyngeal mucosa of an infected person. Direct contact with infected bodily fluids or contaminated objects such as bedding or clothing. The virus can cross the placenta, but the incidence of congenital smallpox is relatively low. Virus is spread by the respiratory route or contact with lesions and is highly infectious. Incubation period is usually 7 to 17 days. Prodromal symptoms which are seen are fever, headache, prostration. Other sign and symptoms which appears after 1 to 2 days of prodromal symptoms are skin rashes, which develops through macules and papules to vesicles and pustules, worst on face and distal extremities. Lesions in one area are all at the same stage of development with no cropping, unlike chickenpox. Vaccination can lead to a modified course of disease with milder rash and lower mortality, and most of the persons in the world are usually vaccinated against smallpox virus. Now, investigations is usually done with electron micrography and DNA detection test, that is PCR test. Specific primers may be used to diagnose smallpox. Regarding management, there is no proven treatment. Antiviral drugs have some role of its management if given early. Treatment of smallpox is primarily supportive, such as wound care, infection control, fluid therapy, and ventilatory assistance when needed. Only thing done in earlier time was to give the patient intravenous fluids and medicines to control fever and pain. Antibiotics usually given to prevent possible bacterial infections. So vaccination is the mainstay by prevention of infection. So this is smallpox management. A small review about vaccination. In 1796, vaccine for smallpox had been developed by Edward Jenner. Smallpox vaccinia, vaccine Dryvax. It is lyophilized vaccinia containing calf liver. Trace amounts of antibiotics which are added to it are polymyxin B, streptomycin, chlorotetracycline, and neomycin. Now, viral fever. Viral fever is implicated to all kinds of viral infections which shows viral fever or fever as a sign symptom. So in all such cases, antiviral medicines like oseltamivir or zanamivir can be taken to treat viral fever and its infections. Medicines like acetaminophen, ibuprofen are prescribed by doctors, and they should be taken only on doctor's prescription. Aspirin can be taken only by adults in viral fever. It must not be given to children as they cannot bear the heavy mechanism of aspirin. So what food to eat during fever? The suitable food is usually easily digestible food which can be assimilated easily in digestive tract. So coconut water, hot tea, honey, ginger, some spicy foods, boiled water should be included in diet. Next important viral infection is measles, known as khasra. As you know, it is highly contagious viral infection. Before immunization campaigns, measles occurred in almost 100% of children worldwide. WHO has set the objective of eradicating measles globally by 2010 using the live attenuated vaccine. Natural illness produces lifelong immunity, so still the vaccination is done for measles, and the cases usually seen are in a small quantity. So mode of spread is again droplet infection, that is coughing and sneezing via close personal contact or direct contact with secretions. Incubation period is generally 6 to 19 days. Prodromal symptoms include upper respiratory tract infections, conjunctivitis, presence of complex spots on the internal buccal mucosa. This is the specific sign. Other general signs and symptoms include white small spots surrounded by erythema, then converted to maculopapular rashes in sometimes spreading from face to the extremities. There may be general lymphadenopathy and diarrhea. Complications include otitis media, bacterial pneumonia, encephalitis, and pregnancy problems. Disease is more severe in adults and cause pneumonitis, hepatitis, encephalitis if not treated properly. Measles is a serious disease in malnourished, vitamin deficient, or immunocompromised persons in whom the typical rash may be missing and persistent infection with a giant cell pneumonitis or encephalitis may occur, and death usually results from bacterial superinfection such as pneumonia, diarrhea, or normal cancrum auris. Investigation and diagnosis is again done through observation of clinical features, detection of antibodies, serum, IgM, seroconversion, or salivary IgM. Management, again, isolation of the patient is important. Pregnant women should be considered for treatment with immunoglobulin, must be given within 6 days of exposure. All children aged 12 to 15 months should be vaccinated against measles as a combined vaccine with mumps and rubella, that is MMR, with a further dose at age of 4 years, that is called booster dose. Antibiotics are only indicated for control of superficial infections or any bacterial complication. Now, another viral infection is encephalitis. Encephalitis, as the name suggests, encephalitis is inflammation of brain. Cause is again arbovirus, which is the most common cause of viral encephalitis. Other causes are herpes simplex virus 1, simplex virus 2, Varicella zoster, childhood viruses like mumps, measles, rubella, Japanese encephalitis virus. All these viruses can cause condition of encephalitis, and then this is called viral encephalitis. Clinical features, usually there is mild fever, headache, vomiting, stiff neck, constant crying of the child. In severe conditions, fever is high grade, there is delirium, seizures, irritability, consciousness, and coma. Management. Management again, according to condition of patient, anticonvulsant treatment is given if there are convulsions. If intracranial pressure is raised, then dexamethasone 8 mg 12 hourly is given. If herpes infection is there, then acyclovir 10 mg per kg IV 8 hourly is advised. In all viral cases, acyclovir is usually given. Supplements like omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin C, probiotic supplement is advised. Preventive care is done with proper vaccination, that is MMR, and next is protection from mosquitoes. Other measures which are usually adopted: patients with cytomegalovirus may be treated with Genciclovir, that is cytovir, and Posaconazole. Poscavir commonly used to treat cytomegalovirus retinitis in HIV positive patients. Pyrimethamine and sulfadoxine are commonly used to treat Toxoplasma encephalitis. When encephalomyelitis develops, supportive care is indicated because there is no known treatment. Corticosteroids may be used, but these should be used judiciously and according to requirement of patient condition. So this was the treatment management of viral encephalitis. So these were some viral infections and their management. In next lecture, we will take some other infectious disease and their management. Thank you. Have a nice day.